I'd like to call the November 12th special pay board meeting to order. We have a quorum, and the first item on the agenda is EEO presentations and questions. So,
All right.
how do we want to proceed?
So however you'd like to start, we have 3 applicants. 2 have stopped in the process, so the All Events and Sassafras Candles and Kettle Coffee Company.
Okay, so the question that I have is, I know last Tuesday there was a meeting and they talked about the questions. Do they have the questions, and or where are we?
Yep. So all of the businesses ended up getting a list of questions after our first meeting to address, so that it wouldn't be kind of a mess when we were meeting at the last one. Just peppering everybody with questions, so everybody should be prepared, has what they need to go forward to help they make a decision.
Okay, so Peggy, maybe take it away since you want to go.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, ladies, I don't know if it matters to you who goes first.
No rush?
Why don't we start?
Where do I go, like, where do I?
Oh,
Well,
yep.
if you can maybe come up front here.
Okay,
Yeah.
stand?
No, you
I
can,
can
can she
sit.
sit?
I
A
don't
little
care.
more comfortable.
And she can
Yeah.
sit.
Whatever works for our cameraman.
Yeah, maybe just right there.
Yes.
Front row corner. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, there you go, thanks. And should I just start talking?
Yeah.
Okay,
Take it
It's
over.
very informal.
okay.
So just whatever, we sent you the list of questions, so you can expand upon any of them, beyond what you've written if you feel.
Okay, so my name is Barshana Simon. I'm here to represent All Reasons Events and Affairs, also known as AREA. So in answer to the questions, and you all have everything in front of you, but I'll say it again. I would like to have at least 10,000 square feet. However, 5,000 is also possible. The capabilities, I would like people with varying disabilities to also have access to the building. So therefore, it would need to be a building that's capable of all. And I have searched here and there for a property now. However, I'm trying to wait for the outcome of this before I really start searching. But the area on 215 North Main Street may be possible. I have not had a chance to walk inside or anything, but everything I've seen has been on the outside and what I have researched on the internet. Currently, this is a new business, therefore there are no profit or loss statements. However, I have been planning events since 2001. They include varying parties, like birthday parties, baby showers, school events, and community events. The largest event I have planned is for over 200, no, it was for about 250 people, and that was in 2001. I will require financial lending. That includes private, state, federal. Grants and loans, whichever is available. I would also like to apply for the West Bend Business Development Loan and loans available through the Minority Business Development Agency and the Small Business Administration. In regards to what part of the downtown entrepreneur opportunity assistance I will be utilizing, it will be everything available. And basically that just spells that out. And I currently do work part-time. I'm serving for small and larger parties. I also, in my I don't want to say spare time, but I also volunteer where I organize larger events. I also work with 2 mentors. One is for a large event agency and one has a marketing background.
I think we appreciate, I do like the comment down here that you, that you saw that somebody posted. It's hard in smaller communities to find kind of what you're hoping to put out there.
Correct.
It seems like, people go where they're making some money, you know what I
Correct.
mean? So it is tough. I appreciate you answering the questions. I think it was important for us in order to make a decision that's going to make sure that this program works. We needed just a little bit more information, so we appreciate your patience as well, because this is new to us too.
Right, right.
So we're hoping that this, that the candidate who does get it, that it's a big success story for the
Correct.
program and the individual.
Correct.
Yes, so thank you. We appreciate you coming back again today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Maybe?
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Abby Rice. This is my mom, Laura Meyer. We're the founders of Sassafras Candles LLC. Our DBA is Sassafras Candles. When we were going through the questions, in reference to size, I don't have specific dimensions, but I was thinking more in comparison to what I've seen that's available that would be more fitting for our needs, like the space next to Sal's. That size would be really preferable. Or something comparable. We really like the spaces that are kind of longer in terms of having to be able to put the front portion be towards our retail operation and then separating the back to be our manufacturing and storage operation.
Any estimate of square footage needs though?
I would guess around 5,000 I think would be fine, and honestly we could even do less.
Okay.
It would truly wouldn't take much space. A lot of our stuff would be layered on shelving, so we really don't need a lot of spanned out space. In regards to capabilities, we would need access to water, but really just a sink would be just fine. We would need to be able to have the back separated from the front of the space in order to have the retail in front, because we really don't want our manufacturing operation to be out in the open, which could be done via a folding wall at the end of it. For the retail space portion, we would need shelving for our products in addition to checkout space, so really just a counter to have that laid out for that portion. For the manufacturing and storage portion, we would need space for our workbenches that we currently use in addition to tables to work on shelving units for storage. It's really not complex things that we would need, we just simply need the space to have it in. For what have we found for ourselves, we've been most interested in the two spaces listed. It's the space next to Sal's or also where Cafe Surratt used to be in that building on the main level is an open space that's also pretty similar to how Sal's space looks like. But I do a walk around downtown at least once a month just to see if any spaces have opened up. We did look into a space on 7th, but it was far too large for our needs, where it was to the point where it just didn't fit for us. It was just too large. We really don't need that large of a space, so we really want something on the smaller end. For our profit and loss to date, we just started our LLC last December, and I did get married this year, so that did create us having to schedule around that, so that was difficult. But I don't plan on getting married again, so I don't think that'll be getting in the way again. But so we have not had to take out any loans, so really we have built our business from the ground up using the money we earn and reinvesting it into our products and our machines that we use for producing our products. We have not had any losses. No one's come back and said their candle exploded or anything like that. So we do have a good quality product, yeah. And all of our earnings were going toward products and upgrades. So we really don't have a lot of that more investment that we have to do into our stuff because we've already done it. We already have the products that we need to create our items that we sell. Our current gross sales for the year of 2019 is around 5,000, but again, that's due to me not having to, that sounded bad, with me getting married, because we did have to plan around that, but really, the majority of it is due to us not having a space accessible to customers when they want our product, because currently we manufacture out of the candle room in my parents' home, which as you can imagine isn't a retail operation for anyone to just walk in and be able to sniff a candle that they saw that we posted on our Facebook page. So are only currently accessible for our products to be seen and smelled before purchase at craft fairs or candle parties. Otherwise, we do have a website, but it usually isn't used until customers smell the product first, then they place the orders. But when we do have that face-to-face conversation where customers are able to see our products, it ends very well. We always have great turnouts. We actually just hosted a candle party this weekend. It was only for 3 hours, and we came out with over $600 in sales. I mean, it's a very good, when we do have access to our customers, it always is a very good outcome for us. And it's been a similar trend at every event we have gone to, and each event has led to more orders on our website from our new customers becoming repeat customers because they do love our product. We could have a much better opportunity if we had a space that would allow customers to come in on their time, not just when we happen to be at a craft fair and when they're already walking around downtown and during downtown events. That encourages our community to shop local downtown. In regards to financial lending, we do not plan on acquiring a loan. Really, like I said, we really built it from the ground up where all of our earnings have gone back into creating better products and into our manufacturing process. So really, it would, if we were to, it would be minimal. I'm thinking less than $3,000. We've already put the investment into our equipment, as I said, so it would just be more to building out the space if needed. So acquiring like the shelving or building the shelving and things like that. In regards to the downtown entrepreneur opportunity that we would, the parts that we would be utilizing, while we already have an entity and website, we do not have a background in business management or marketing, and we think that the social media marketing website design and setup would be a huge asset for us, in addition to the email marketing assistance. Candles and wax melts are not a permanent product. Once they're used up, they do need to be replaced, and we think that learning about email marketing will help keep customers coming back to us. If we only know how to fully utilize this marketing tactic, I do think we would have a great outcome and having even more return customers. We also do not have a strong knowledge base on taxes and finances. While we know the basics, we really think that taking advantage of the QuickBooks tutorial would be a tremendous help in getting a firmer grasp on our business finances and being ready for tax season so we're not caught off guard at that time of the year. And assistance with space cleanup and build out would be a great help to us, while we think we would have a more easy setup due to needing the back to be used for manufacturing our product in the front being a retail space, something that would be a huge help to us for getting set up. And again, we really would just need shelving and some tables, and it's really not a complex setup that we would need. And as for if this is a transition career or already full-time on your business, my mom is full-time on the business. This would be transition for me to be full-time.
If you screw up, can she ground you?
She yells at me. I'll do something to his mouth. We need to be consistent.
I'm the manager, she's the talent.
Okay.
That's great follow-up information.
Yeah, so the one question that I have for you from a store standpoint, with only 2 of you, how do you plan to staff it?
We would be, at first, we would like to be it just us for really the first couple months just to get a grasp on it. But once we have a regular schedule and we know when customers are coming in more often and when the peak hours are, we would be looking into hiring possibly 2 part-time employees. Otherwise, it would be mainly us there.
Okay.
Have you budgeted for wages for that, or is it something you think would come out of cash flow, or?
That would likely come out of cash flow. Again, that would be something that we would assess after the couple months of operation. Which is why we would want to wait. We wouldn't want to dive in and, you know.
Yeah, and reference point, if you're saying 5,000 square feet, sales, I think, is lucky to be 1,000, 1,500.
Yeah, I'll be honest,
I don't
5,000
know
would
if
be
you-
a mansion for us. We really could do small.
I was thinking you were probably meeting 500 to it.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, we really would just need small, like 5,000 would be,
So this is a
If it was
little,
available,
this is a
we'd
little
take
over
it.
1,000 square feet.
yeah, we
right?
really,
Yeah, we don't.
well, then I'm bad at dimensions. No, we really would need something minimal,
Right.
nothing large by any means.
I really love the idea of, you know, the candles, and I think you mentioned that you had a candle party and you were able to help grow your brand. And one of the things that I was thinking about was, are you currently in any retail spaces that, like, have you approached?
So we used to do wholesale, where we would sell to businesses. However, it was when we were first starting out, so it really was actually costing us money
Yeah, we
to
didn't
do
know
that.
what we did.
So we did stop it probably after 6 months, but it was really good in obtaining customers, but,
We were at a salon in Hartford,
mhm.
and we were just selling our mason jars and to them, but we had our apothecary jars for us, but since then we've learned that people, we buy things, our containers are much smaller, and they will pay more for a smaller container, and will make more money with a $10 jar that you wouldn't think, you know, a $4
Yeah, I
amount.
mean, yeah, the
They'll
profits
just-
weren't coming in when it was
No.
wholesale.
No.
I mean, I would like in the future, if we weren't to obtain a space anytime soon, I would like to at least have a presence and see if we could just do a percentage of our sales that would pay the owner of the operation.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to approach wholesale again, though.
Well, another suggestion is, depending upon how this goes, is in the, and I don't know how they work, but the Mercantile building, my understanding is you can rent like this 2x2
Oh.
area and put your product in there. And they just rent small little spots.
That's
Oh, that's
exactly what I was
okay.
thinking.
Yeah, I had a customer telling me about it, that she had some stuff in there.
Yeah, I've heard of
including her,
that.
She's doing really well with it.
Thank you.
But I don't know the details.
Yeah, I don't know how it works either, but it seems like a really good gateway into, you know, a bigger thing, at least, and then
Yeah.
it gives you an idea. It would help, I think, also on the
Definitely.
business side of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you for that
It's kind of a
suggestion.
little craft fair every day.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we did good at those, so good.
And then the other thing I'll throw out there, just because it just popped in my head, was a lot of times restaurants start out just like this. It's a small little idea in an incubator, and they grow, and restaurant, people come up with this idea, and they form pop-up restaurants. And it's where somebody has an idea, and they use someone else's space and someone else's equipment.
Yeah, like a
and
pop-up
stuff.
shop.
Yeah.
Yes,
And so
I-
they test the
yeah.
market, they test the brand, and
Yeah.
they work on building it sort of organically. And I could certainly see pop-up craft parties working
Yeah.
potentially.
So
to
I
grow
actually
this.
have a question on that, because I've looked into pop-up shops, and maybe you don't have the answer offhand, but I tried to look into it. Can I reach out to someone in regards to those, like, in case, like, do you need permits to be able to do that for a day, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to work that.
Of course you do.
Because I was really curious about doing it, but I got lost in trying to find out if we had to do that stuff, so maybe someone can reach
I
out to
think
me.
probably Adam.
Yep.
You could, okay, yeah.
Perfect.
Because it is,
Thank you.
it's something we've even talked about often is, we've got this empty space downtown, could we do almost like how the malls have kiosks, you know, at
Yeah.
Christmas time? Could you do like a week-long thing or a 2-week-long thing, and it could be a seasonal thing if there's empty space. But of course, you have to have an owner of a building who's willing to, you know, give the space up to at least get people in there. So there's a lot of talking, but the idea is out there. So, yeah, I think that, just contact Adam,
Okay.
at least he can help with that.
Yeah, I think, the idea of there being a vacant space, if it's not being utilized, I certainly think that building owners are very pro-business and proactive to trying to not only fill space, but,
That's a very happy thought, Brian.
Well,
Wake up, wake up.
I have a space in the bottom of my restaurant that
Okay.
would, in my head,
Yes.
work for a party, right?
Yeah,
I have a lady who does painting parties once a month down there, so,
does she serve wine?
no, I serve.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
I like it.
any other questions?
No.
No, thank you, ladies. We
Thank you.
Thank you
appreciate your
very
time and
much.
coming back again
Yeah, no
today.
problem, thank you.
Gentlemen, you found us.
We found you. Sorry.
Come on up.
We're shifty.
please feel free to introduce yourself. This is some of the other bid board members that you have not met.
Hi, Jess, this is Mike.
Nice to see you, a member.
I'm gonna pass out some coffee because we didn't bring.
Oh, that's terrible.
last
Oh,
time,
boy.
so,
Okay.
We kind of got lampooned at the last meeting for not bringing samples.
Kinda.
Wow, yeah.
Wouldn't have offended me.
You don't like coffee?
Nope.
Oh, well, you want your mind changed today? Or?
I like business, but I'm not a coffee fan. You don't have to pour me in.
I didn't know that's a thing, really. I don't
Oh,
know
no,
how you
coffee.
function.
Right, yeah.
Tea.
What's wrong with you, man?
Let's get to you soon.
It's too, okay, all right.
He's type A, I don't need it. My head was full.
Making sure you can't. Coffee because you need
I'm
it.
happy about this, thank
Well, yeah.
I love
Double it
the smell of
you. Right, I'll take theirs.
Right?
Exactly. Come back through and top you off, then, okay?
Kathy's got a lot of work to do.
I do, actually. I have a lot.
My
Deadlines.
mother-in-law makes it specifically to Dunkin' Donuts, and she never drinks coffee, so I'm gonna eat Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, I love this man.
Say anybody want that, won't take mine.
Yes, I already said that. He's helping me, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, it smells wonderful.
Not to too much time, but
Oh my God.
Okay. Gosh, this day is awful.
So now this is.
so you won't turn this down, right?
No.
I will actually.
Yeah, all right.
I can't eat on
Oh,
television.
good man.
What is it?
Chocolate rain.
Yeah, chocolate rain.
Feels good with coffee.
What's next, cash?
You ever? Oh, sure. Sorry, yeah, I'm sorry.
Thanks, Ed.
Yeah, don't forget Jake.
Yeah. He's got that, what about me look?
Now you're soft.
So just one.
How's it taste for a coffee drinker? I don't mean the chocolate.
It's wonderful.
No, it's really good.
I perfectly timed the question to the bite.
Yes, you
All right, this is good. They are the best. It's a special trip to get used chocolate. Stand in line outside.
You notice I recognize the box?
All right.
Been there a few times?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's hard to resist. If you're in the area. Morning.
Good morning.
Sorry about the delay this morning. There must have been some sort of, I mean, we didn't get the memo that it was here. We thought it was back at the
No problem.
professional building. So we want to start by answering some of the questions that you guys.
Why don't you introduce yourselves again, because some of the people have not
Oh, yeah,
met
I'm
you.
sorry. My
And
name's Adam, my name's Chris, this is Adam. I'm confused.
Yeah.
and the company that you are hoping to start.
Well, we
open.
have a
You have a company.
Called Kettle Coffee Roaster.
Mhm.
Company, yeah, sorry. We roast coffee and primarily serve our coffee either whole bean online, and we do have a wholesale account with the Norbert. Otherwise, we do farmers market in Port Washington. And we've had a really great reception from Port Washington. We built a bit of clientele there. It's actually somewhat carried our online sales as well, now that we're not there. So that's our existing company. What we're looking to do is open, we've had some stress from our customers a little bit with opening a retail location. So right now we have a roastery, it's up in Barton. We used to be in the old brewery, just up the road, on Main Street. And that wasn't really working out for us. It was a huge amount of space. Talking about 5,000 square feet, that was like 12,000 plus. Yeah,
Crazy amount of space.
huge amount of space.
So much to work with.
Just heating it
Yeah.
was like 3 times the rent.
We would've went bankrupt just eating it.
So we moved into a smaller location to roast our coffee, but it's not exactly set up as a customer interaction space. It's a small space. It's enough for us to roast coffee, but we wouldn't be able to have a cafe there, which is what our customers are asking for.
Where are you in Barton? I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Geez, it's the,
You know the old Cotton's Groceries?
Uh-huh.
We're back behind there. There's a bunch of rental units back there. We're in
Okay.
actually unit number 1.
Okay, okay.
So right next to the law office and right
Yep.
by the river there.
Yep.
they're pretty much like shops. Yeah, essentially we're renting a shop. And we
Yeah,
turned it
just-
into a roastery.
Yes, it's kind of like a 2.5 car, almost 3 car garage.
Okay.
Yeah,
So limited space.
Gotcha.
But we don't need a lot of space, just to roast and bag coffee, really.
We don't, right. Actually, that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves with that, but that might be something we'd like to incorporate into the space that we're using as a cafe as well. It's relatively popular to do in Third Wave Coffee, which is something we talked about last meeting. But it's kind of taking coffee to that next level of excellence and accountability. We probably don't want to get into that again because it would take up too much time. But that's the goal, is to move into a cafe. Chris can tell you, we actually talked to Gooley, Sal's, about that space, walked through it with him. It's 12,000 square feet according to him.
1,200, yeah.
Sorry. 12,000 square feet. It really opens up in the back. Yeah, 1,200 square feet. And that's about probably what we're looking at for our first cafe.
It's a little on the small side, but we could make it work. Yeah. Ideally.
How many people would that sit, do you think, in 1,200 square feet?
Well, the layout of the space we would be using, it's a long space.
Yeah,
So we'd be using one side as bar, coffee bar, and then the other side for seating. And it does have a bathroom and space for a 3-basin sink, which we would need.
Yeah, and we would shrink kind of that back room a bit. Try to utilize some downstairs storage if possible. I think you'd fit about 25 people in there at most.
That's roasting on site?
Well, it would be a squeeze. I think that, our roaster's not big, it's a 1 kilo.
Okay.
Which is, I think, kind of the ideal size to have as like a showcase piece in a cafe. I think no matter what, we would continue to roast off-site. When we upgrade roasters, we wouldn't put a bigger roaster there.
Sure.
Because eventually, roasting is gonna become a full-time job. We're pretty, it takes up a lot of time as it is, so as that starts to build, we'll need to buy a bigger roaster, and that won't go in the cafe. So.
Which kind of leads into, yes, we both work full-time besides this, more than 40 hours a week. And we've managed to take the company as far as it's gotten with that, but opening a cafe, we would definitely be transitioning into doing this full-time.
Yeah, it'd be Adam and myself and my wife who would be the main people running the cafe.
That's happening.
Right. Yeah, staff in the cafe running it. That would be the initial plan before moving forward with hiring anyone. But-
So you'd both stop working, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right, to be open enough hours during the day, we wouldn't be able to
Sure.
just give up sleep, so we could work another job on top of it.
would you actually need a grill, or are you thinking more like cold sandwiches and bakeries and
Yeah, no kitchen.
no kitchen?
No kitchen, yeah, we
Okay.
wouldn't have the space in that space. We would to bring in someone else's bakery, so we'd have a bakery display
Mhm.
cabinet. So that'd be about the extent of it.
So open like breakfast, lunch, or breakfast,
Oh.
lunch, dinner?
Yeah, we're thinking
Would be open
utilizing that
later.
space.
Yeah.
Okay.
12 hours a day, I would say,
Yeah.
Yeah.
at least.
I just know, like, one of the others, I remember when Grasshopper was open, I think they just did breakfast and lunch. I think they were, maybe they started with dinner, but then I think they just
slowly
went.
trimmed back all their hours and
Yeah.
then people started quitting and
Yeah.
stopped. I didn't understand the philosophy behind it, but.
Yeah, they hit it out of the park. It's kind of cool.
We also reached out to the owner of the Grasshopper,
Mhm.
unsuccessfully. He's not willing to work with us or downtown or West Bend at all, so don't
And-
understand why, but.
Gooley is more than interested in talking to you guys as well. So we touch base with him on that.
So from a rental standpoint, do you have capital that you can pay rent?
As of now, we don't have very much liquid capital. A lot of it's tied up, kind of like the other folks here today, we've been reinvesting our income into the business. We do have some. I would say between the two of us, we're probably sitting around $6,000, which is enough for the roastery. It's turned a profit for us, but it's not enough for a cafe.
Yeah, the cafe is something that regardless, we're going to move forward with. it just, this opportunity that you guys have presented would allow us to get into a cafe much sooner than initially planned. So, again, we're trying to grow very organically and just build up our clientele and brand awareness so that we can then get a loan and open a cafe. And we'd like that to be in West Bend because that's where we live, but we've been doing, again, Port Washington Farmers Market all summer, and we'll be doing winter Farmers Market in Port Washington as well. We received a warm welcome there, and they've been great to us.
What's the name of the cafe?
Probably be named as...
You haven't named it yet?
Well, it'll probably be Kettle Coffee Company. I mean, we've spent so much time and energy investing into building that brand, so we would probably put that logo. Our logo's pretty prominent and really comes out. And I think there's some familiarities kind of built into the logo from the very beginning.
Sure.
And as we've established the brand, that familiarity will, so it just makes sense, I think, to use that logo.
And you said you currently serve your coffee or sell it. Is it served or sold at the Norbert? Or both?
It's served.
Served
yeah.
on Sunday, right?
No,
Or
it's served,
Saturday?
it's served all the time as
Oh,
far
nice.
as I understand. I mean, it's hard because, well, it's a wholesale account, and so a lot of it is dependent on good communication. And as many of you know, communication can fall apart. I mean, look we weren't here this morning when we should have been because of a communication breakdown. And so as simple as them letting me know that they need coffee, I mean, they have to order the coffee and then I'll give it to them. And it's never a problem to fulfill an order for them. But sometimes they'll be a couple weeks longer than expected. I try to keep it on a fresh rotation with them. And most of the time I'm reaching out to them and saying, hey, do you need something? Oh yeah, we do. So it's coming up maybe with a better ordering system, something a little more convenient for them. But we're really restricted with what we have at our disposal financially, and we're just a young company, so.
Yeah.
Just over a year.
Yeah.
So Adam, do we have, is there money for rent? Or was that
No,
we were gonna try to get?
No, we have no cash involved in the downtown entrepreneur opportunity.
And just be a business owner or building owner who's willing to provide the space and the prospect of each location would be dependent on what that building owner is gonna do, and can't approach those until we know what space is needed, so cart before the horse.
Yeah, no, I get it, I wanted to be clear that.
The business development loan pool program can be utilized in those types of ways, though.
Okay.
So you'd be open to doing some lending to get this going?
We're gonna
Okay.
have to.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of regardless.
Yeah.
We've so far grown the company organically with only personal investment. But
Well, that's why I asked. I didn't know if there was a goal to not lend or.
no, we're gonna have to.
Okay.
I mean, even if we hold it off 2-3 years and
Yeah.
we do this without your guys'
Yeah.
help, which could happen, we're gonna have to lend at that point. I mean, a cafe is an expensive endeavor. So just the equipment side of things, it's expensive.
So plumbers, electricians.
And the smart thing, I mean, as a lot of your business owners, the smart thing to do is to have capital set aside in case something does happen. If we need to repair or replace something, we're not shut down for days, we can actually go ahead and do that. So we do want to have a buffer built in place financially as well.
So how long have you been roasting?
Long time.
2010 approximately.
Okay.
It kind of started for fun. We were just in the backyard, kind of a stainless steel bowl over a camp stove with a heat gun.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of people roast with like
Actually,
old,
across
like West Bend
the
air
board.
poppers. In fact, the West Bend company air popper, I think it's called like the Poppery 2 with the yellow dome on it and stuff. It's a pretty famous. Stir crazy, yeah. That's a pretty famous air popper that's used for home roasting by a lot of people. They're pretty sought after. So if you've got one laying in the garage somewhere, you might want to get it
Wow.
on eBay.
You get 50
somebody-
bucks laying there.
Yeah, somebody will give you $50 for it. So.
They make the best popcorn.
Except for popcorn.
Yeah, my wife has one on the counter for popcorn. It's never had coffee in it because, but I look
I
for
never
them
thought
when
to
we,
put coffee beans.
garage sales and stuff like that. You'll, oh, look at, there's a $5 air popper that I can resell on eBay. We just look for opportunities.
When did you transition from the popcorn popper to the roaster?
Well, we ordered the roaster last year and received it, so it'd be July of 2018 is when we got the roaster, started roasting on a professional roaster, so.
So is that when you started selling at farmers markets and stuff? or
Well, we did an LLC until August, and we didn't really even start selling coffee until September, October of last year, so we're just about a year old.
And that was friends, family, friends of friends and family.
Right,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
that's kind of how it started, yeah.
So just out of curiosity, where do you get the coffee beans from?
Most of our coffee beans come from an importer in Minneapolis called Cafe Imports. We source specifically specialty grade coffee, so coffee's graded by a quality grader from a 0 to 100 scale, and everything from 80 points to 100 points is considered specialty coffee. Ethical sourcing is a priority to us, and that's why we partner with Cafe Imports, because of the way that they're involved with the farms, that it's not just...
It's very transparent.
Yeah, it's a lot of transparency, so there's a lot of direct communication all the way down to some farms, like a Costa Rican farm. We have a coffee now that Cafe Imports has an educated person in like cultivating coffee, like this is what they've done, they've gone to school for, they've hired this person, and now they live on that farm full-time to help with that farmer to change processes to help him grow better coffee.
I don't drink coffee, but I kind of understand what's going on with it and the organic and the ethical sourcing and.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander is kind of the principle behind a lot of third wave coffee. So the idea is there's these importers or larger coffee roasters who are helping to support the farmer because they get a better product. And then the customer pays a little bit more because they're getting a better product. And the farmer ends up making more because they're selling a better product. So it's a very, really straightforward, kind of direct way of positively impacting the communities around us and globally with really nothing but benefits for us. Because we're a more premier brand, we're more trustworthy and transparent kind of as a byproduct. Because there is an ugly world of coffee as well. When you go and you get $1 cup of coffee from McDonald's, that profit that they're making is coming from somewhere, and it's coming off the backs of poor farmers usually. So
it's the same thing in chocolate that you guys all just enjoyed this morning. Not everybody, but chocolate and coffee have a lot of similarities when it comes to ethical or unethical practices. There's a lot of people on the top that are making a lot of money, and a lot of people on the bottom that can barely feed their family. So we want to try to change that, and by serving a better cup of coffee, really, and educating the customer. I mean, 70% of what we're doing is educating the customer. It's having these one-on-one conversations where we can, and we see that that possibility with the cafe. Not necessarily being able to stop everything, stop making drinks so we can have this conversation, but being able to host events where you can communicate these things to customers and get them more involved with an everyday luxury item that we kind of take for granted. Coffee is a real luxury, and I hope that we can all start seeing it for what it is and not looking at it as a dollar thing that I need.
Can you elaborate just a little bit then on what part of the entrepreneurial program you guys are specifically interested in? Like all of it? I mean, it sounds like you've already got some ideas on. Pardon?
I don't think there's a part we're not in.
Okay, okay.
Realistically, we do have somebody that's helping us with social media, and we have a tax advisor. That's been great for us so far, but as we're moving forward, we've already noticed. So our social media person is having another baby. So there's things
that
that
have
are
a friend that's been helping us more or less. So.
Yeah, and she's done fantastic.
Yeah, she's
Couldn't
done a great
have asked for a better job. But things are happening. The company's now past its first year, so there's a little bit of that waning of the glow of a new thing, like I get to help you with a new thing. So we have some of that help that's been there kind of stepping back, like, all right, well, you got this, right? So, yeah, I mean, realistically, it's a beautiful package. It was set up in a way that's very enticing, I think. I'm surprised this room isn't full, honestly. But, yeah, there's nothing in that package that isn't beneficial to a small business. It was very well crafted.
You mentioned likely needing lending sources. Do you have those contacts, or do you need assistance?
We would need help with that for sure. We haven't reached out to any banks yet. We kind of touched on this during the last meeting, having a little bit of, because we're a new business, neither of us are independently wealthy yet. But having the backing of, hey, we got approved by this board. You know, they're interested in what we're doing, they see the value in what we're doing. You do too, right? Helps with lending situations a lot, especially talking directly to a loan officer. It's going to carry a lot of weight.
Just touching on the build-up component of it, do you have any idea how much it might cost to retrofit that space that you're looking at into what your vision is?
I mean, we have some guesstimates. I think that it can range anywhere between $25,000 to $50,000. You know, yeah, and it really depends on the space that may come available. Like we've looked at that space next to Sal's, and it would work. It's a little on the small side. A little bit bigger of a space would allow, and something that would allow for us to have the roaster there, to be able to roast on site, have a little bit more storage space, have a little bit more customer area, a little bit more comfortable for somebody to come in and set up their laptop and sit there all day and drink coffee and you know, spend their office work day there. That would be
Did he
ideal.
give you any idea of rent?
$950. And have you ever met Cooley? He's a very straightforward guy.
So I don't know if you guys know, but that was a very well attended cafe back in its day.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
It was a restaurant that was.
It was the Beacon, right?
No,
Is that what it was called?
it was a colonial cafe.
Okay.
It was called.
The Colonial Cafe, that's what it was.
Yep.
Didn't know that.
A lot of coffee served there. My dad's coffee club used to meet there. It was there for a long, 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 long time.
Are you talking like 100 years ago, or what?
I feel that old. I think it closed probably 20 years, 25 years ago.
Really?
Tire horse up there.
Get a truffle.
Yeah, they had excellent breakfast.
I did ride my
So
horse
that is
down there
history
back in the
of
day.
the restaurant.
True story.
It's
So
a good
it's those
space.
two spaces combined then, where Sal's is?
No.
No, it was
It's
just
just a
that,
long, narrow cafe, and there's a bar, and they cooked everything back in the, if you're walking in the back right corner, there was a big booth that held 6 people, and then booths along the side, and then a coffee bar. And
That's kind of one of
Do you
the
have
nice
pictures?
things about Cafe.
That'd be cool.
in my head, 'cause I ate there a lot.
yeah, that'd be cool to see some pictures of it.
Now, the Beacon was right across the street in the Centrum building.
I've heard
Across the
tell
street.
of the Beacon. People love that place.
Beacon was fabulous too.
Yeah.
I knew all the rest.
There's gotta be something there, too, I guess.
So, yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see something like that back in there.
Yeah. Well, and we want to draw, obviously for our own benefit, but we want to draw traffic downtown, which is one of the things that we realized this whole process was for. To help drive foot traffic, to help, you know, improve the downtown area, the aesthetics of it, you know, rather than having a nail salon that's open for 4 hours a day or something along those lines, to have a business that actually draws people in. Which is what we want. We want customers. We're banking on a couple hundred customers a day, otherwise financially it's not the best idea.
It's a community hub too, a cafe.
It is.
You know, as an attractant, and it's a community hub. It's somewhere where people can go and socialize and bring their friends, and, you know, it's, I've heard tell of the beginnings of our Constitution, and freedoms were established in a coffee house.
Yeah, cool to be part of that.
Yeah.
Thanks. Time's up.
What do you guys think of the coffee?
Awesome.
Delicious.
Really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Award for it is fantastic.
Okay, so what do we do now?
I don't think that, I think we were going to be writing it down, correct?
Yes, that's how we can work it, is if everybody would just put their names at the top of a sheet of paper, which we'll use this paper, and then, yeah, you can select one, and then we'll go from there.
Why don't you just pass it down, and we'll, one
Yeah.
sheet of paper, and just
Yeah, why don't we just do it that way?
write our name and who we want.
Start this one.
Before we start this, though, I'd like to just say thanks to everybody that participated, even the people who have selected to take themselves out of the running. There were 5 originally. As an individual who was very fortunate to have a father who had a vision similar to all of you guys out here, to start a small business 68 years ago and now build it to where we're at today is, I think, takes a lot, and I really commend all of you for doing what you're doing, and regardless of the results of today, I encourage you to continue doing what you're doing and don't give up on your dream, because you definitely can grow into whatever you want to make it to and go forward. So thank you very much for participating in this and being patient with us, trying to figure out how we need to proceed with this. You know, I think even if you're not successful in getting selected today, I think anybody at this table would be more than happy to sit and talk to you about anything as far as helping you improve your business. You know, I don't think anybody here would say, sorry, we're not interested. Especially if you're thinking about coming downtown, but any place in the community. So pat yourselves on the back for even just having the ideas and moving forward with what you're doing at this point.
I would add to that as well, that this is going to be, we're hoping this is going to be an ongoing program. You know, again, we want it to be successful, and I would say the same to Mike when I first opened my business, and next year we'll be celebrating 25 years. I had, back in the day, written letters because we didn't have email, and to several business owners downtown West Bend, and nobody even replied at all. So I had to figure this out on my own. So I've made every mistake that could possibly be made and spent a lot of hours praying in church. So I would be more than happy to sit down with anybody if they're looking for assistance or even just as a cheerleader, because I'm all for people opening up their own businesses.
Yeah, I would echo both of those guys, and just to understand, there's a million ways to do it. This is just one of them.
With this one being the first program, we're going to obviously learn from that, but keep your eyes open to how you heard about it the first time if you're not selected today, because likely we will repeat this process, which means doesn't mean you can't come back to us again if you don't get selected today. Drum roll.
Oh, sure. I don't know if we have fireworks set up. So, yeah, we're on item number 2 then, the DEO selection decision. The bid board has decided to go with Kettle Coffee Company for the, to receive the Downtown Entrepreneur Opportunity.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So their next step should be what, Adam? Contact you?
Yes, we will have a meeting.
Isn't that Chinese?
Yeah, I'll do that.
And just maybe you want to double check the location. So that
Yep, I'll do that.
all right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Next item is any agenda items for the next meeting in December? Otherwise, we can normal this.
I think normal.
I'll just throw it out there. Are we doing anything with the garlands going across the street?
No, that was taken out of the.
That was, okay.
Yes, but the thoughts are, because we're still working on more money, we're looking to the future and how we're going to grow this whole scene. What you saw lit up on Thursday night, and some of it's not on because we're having some electrical issues, but what you see Thursday night is not the end of the plan. we have ideas to continue to grow it, including going across the street and bringing that back. But it was decided not to put that up because the light color was just totally different than everything else. So that was kept from going up this year. But hopefully everybody likes it. It was a great turnout with, 19 degrees. And
There was I couldn't believe how many people were down there.
Yeah.
It was-
It
it
was
was-
amazing.
it was
And the
awesome.
band and everything, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
River
It was
City Christmas
amazing.
Brass did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Really well done.
They said,
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna
Really
be able
well
to keep playing because everything's freezing and
I
some
can't
guy came
believe
up
they
to me
could
with
play.
beer packs and said, here, will this help them? And, gave them to the band and Santa and it was a great experience even though all of us were freezing.
Mm.
And then on Saturday with the wine walk, all the people walking through, we heard so many compliments on how beautiful the downtown looked. I mean, it was said over and over and over again. So I think it was awesome that we were able to get it up it seems early, but now that the snow hit, it doesn't seem early
Right,
anymore.
We got very lucky in the bid, thanks to the bid too for doing the light poles that really added to the whole.
It's
the whole
beautiful.
mix. So
I'm
the whole
seeing-
thing, I think, is amazing, and I can tell you that it has brought people downtown, because every night, Saturday night I came down a couple times, well, I was here late Saturday night, but Sunday, there were people that were pulling up, if they weren't getting out of their cars, they were sitting in their cars taking pictures of it.
It's all over social
Um,
media. It's
yeah, it's-
exploding. Everybody's talking about it.
Yep. So, thank you, everybody, for your support and making it happen, and helping us make it happen. And,
I was gonna say one thing, with that in mind, the decorations, obviously, we knew that we were abandoning some of the decorations.
we're the reindeer, by the way.
Yeah, I was gonna,
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna say, yeah, the reindeer, I think we did talk about trying to bring out, but the other one was what to do with all the decorations, and I think it would be, I know that the county, and a lot of municipalities use an online auction site, Wisconsin Surplus, and I think it would be a great idea to possibly look into trying to liquidate whatever decorations we're not using. I'm sure there's municipalities out there that.
after you talked to Barton.
Okay, good.
For real, for real.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
After you talk to Barton.
Would Barton
Yeah.
have any interest in any of it, and,
More than likely,
Sounds like it.
Yeah, I think that's a great.
more than likely. We've got a budget, yeah.
and I think that's a great idea, and we can help them, and then we can put more money into the fund to get more stuff, and, just keep the cycle flowing. So-
Yeah, I'd like to see, I don't really know what you guys have, so I'd like to see that if that's possible. Just let me know. Just let me know. I'll bring a couple other
I would say
HPV
maybe
members.
talk with Doug, because it's out at DPW, right? I don't know where everything is.
That's where we started.
Stored, so you could go out there and see it.
Okay.
Um,
And everything's for sale, or?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do with the deer?
Yep, so the deer are coming out, we just need some hands to be able to do so. So we're just wrangling up staff to handle the deer, is where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah, so we had a lot of people ask for the deer on,
Uh-huh.
and also the nativity, people are wondering when that was gonna be put up. So I told them that was a downtown thing, and it was planned to go to Westbury Bank, so, we need to make sure that that gets set up. Yeah, I'm assuming downtown planning.
The 12th is the date that they are planning to put up
Yeah.
the nativity scene.
Okay.
November
Adam was
12th.
building the,
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know what to tell people.
Great, now it's on
Just a couple
camera.
people asked for it.
yeah. We're waiting for our carpenter.
Joseph.
Was it Joseph the Carpenter?
my middle
Looks
name.
kinda like him, doesn't he?
It was at one point, sure.
Our DPW staff is willing to assist with the deer. The deer are stored out at the sewer plant, and this weather has.
It's not been good,
Yeah,
yeah.
has gotten in the way a few times of deer placement and retrieval. And they're
Next-
still with us, they're still coming out. The porters have offered to assist with placing them. Anna is down to one person in her shop, so that's affecting her ability to tend deer as well. But they'll get out. It'll happen.
All right. Sounds good. Anything else? Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.